A printer that never got macOS support just got one anyway, written not by a driver team, but by an AI. That's the story circulating on X today, and it's one of 3 threads worth slowing down for, because each one quietly moves a line that engineering teams in the EU are going to have to think about this year. Let's start with the printer. According to a post from Over Antimony that reached over 1.7 million views, Claude was asked to write a full macOS driver for an HP printer that had only ever shipped Windows support. It did. Not a workaround, not a compatibility shim, a working driver produced by reasoning through the printer's communication documentation without an existing macOS implementation to copy from. This is the kind of task that used to require vendors' engineering time or a community of reverse engineers spending weekends on it. Now it's a prompt. Here's the part worth sitting with. For years, missing platform support has functioned as a soft form of vendor lock-in. You buy the hardware the vendor supports or you go without. That constraint is loosening. But there's a second effect that gets less attention. Driver code that nobody wrote, reviewed, or signed off on is now something that can appear inside a production stack in the time it takes to run a prompt. For EU teams operating under increasingly strict software supply chain expectations, that's not a footnote. It's a new category of code provenance question that didn't exist a year ago. The second story moves from one-off tasks to ongoing systems. Anthropic published a detailed walkthrough of an approach used by an Anthropic engineer to build self-prompting, memory-enabled agents, systems that don't just answer once, but loop. They hold context across iterations, check their own output against internal standards, and reprompt themselves until the result clears the bar. The thread built on an original post that had already drawn millions of views, and Kopatz's own version passed 300,000. The appeal is obvious. An agent that catches its own mistakes before a human sees them is a meaningful jump in reliability. But reliability and accountability are not the same thing. Every loop iteration is a decision the system made about its own output, and most of those intermediate decisions are not being logged in a way anyone could later reconstruct. That matters specifically in the EU, where the AI Act is pushing toward documentation and traceability requirements for higher risk systems. If your agent revised its own answer 5 times before shipping the 6th, can you show which revision that was and why the system chose it? Right now, for most teams, the honest answer is no. That's the gap self-improving agents are opening even as they close the reliability gap. The third story leaves software entirely and heads into biology. Ericsson, quoting AIDO AI, reported the release of AIDO Cell, described by its makers as a multimodal, multi-scale virtual cell model, unifying DNA, RNA, protein, and regulatory network data inside a single system. The post passed 270,000 views. The ambition here is what GenBio AI calls a step toward an AI-driven digital organism, a simulated cell detailed enough to run research against before anything touches a wet lab. That's a genuinely different kind of foundation model. Not language, not code, but biological layers that used to require separate, specialized tools stitched together by hand. If this category matures the way large language models did, biotech research pipelines start looking a lot like AI infrastructure pipelines, dependent on where the underlying model was trained, who controls its weights, and who can afford to run it at scale. For the EU, that turns a life sciences research question into a sovereignty question. Where this kind of model gets hosted and under whose jurisdiction is not a detail to sort out later. 3 stories, 1 thread connecting them. AI is not just answering questions anymore. It's writing unaudited code, making unlogged decisions in loops, and modeling entire biological systems, all faster than the governance frameworks meant to track any of it. None of that means slow down. It means the teams that win are the ones building the audit trail alongside the capability, not after it. That's today's briefing. If you want this kind of grounded, source-checked AI analysis every week, the AI Signal Brief is free by email. And if your team is building with AI and wants a sovereignty check on the stack, AetherLink offers a free consult. Details are below. See you tomorrow.